A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, as we continue to journey through the Hadith, the sayings of the Prophet and his infallible progeny, may God's peace and blessings be upon all of them, we focus our attention on another tradition in the beauties of understanding the Qur'an, and for us to be able to develop a closer affinity and love and connection to the words of Allah embodied within the noble Qur'an. And today, the tradition that we want to spend a few minutes on comes to us again from the noble messenger, the Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him and his family, in which he shares with us the importance of not only learning the Qur'an, but actually being a teacher of this glorious book to other people. And in the tradition, the Prophet says the following: "The best of those amongst you is the one who learns the Qur'an and then teaches it to others." We see that one of the traditions amongst the Muslims since the beginning of time, since the beginning of the descent of the noble Qur'an onto the heart of the blessed Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him and his family, is that when he would receive revelation, he would in turn obviously go towards his companions, those associates who were around him who were truthful to the message, and he would teach them what he was receiving from Allah. Obviously either directly from Allah or via the angel of revelation, the angel Jibreel, peace be upon him. And subsequently, once the companions and those individuals around the messenger were taught the Qur'an, then they would go on to teach it to their family, to their friends, to people who were coming into the religion of Islam. And this is a tradition that has continued for 14 generations, for 14 centuries rather, that as a community we ensure that we ourselves learn the Qur'an, and at this level we're merely talking about the recitation of the Qur'an, to learn the rules of Arabic pronunciation, of the rules of recitation of the Qur'an. And then we make it a habit to ensure that our children are taught the Qur'an, to make sure that those within our community, maybe those who are coming into Islam from another tradition, are taught the Qur'an. Those who really have a desire to want to recite the book of Allah in its native language, in the Arabic, are taught the Qur'an. And here the Prophet tells us in beautiful terms that the best of us, the best of believers at this level, are those individuals who learn the Qur'an themselves and then go forth to teach it to others. Because really there is no comparison to reciting the Qur'an in Arabic and then trying to recite it or read it in a translational form. Definitely the translations are great if we don't understand the Arabic, to be able to gauge a very rudimentary level of understanding of the verses. But the beauty of the Qur'an, the beauty of the speech of Allah actually comes to us when we recite the Qur'an in its native Arabic. And we hear very many beautiful recitations that take place, that are available on the internet. You can stream, you can listen to. And when you hear these beautiful recitations from men and women who have beautiful voices, who have learnt the Qur'an from the teachers of the Qur'an, one can really become inspired and moved to tears by hearing the Qur'an. Indeed, as Allah tells us in the Qur'an, that had He sent the Qur'an onto a mountain, that you would have seen the mountain crumble and crush, just completely annihilate itself out of the fear and the awe of Allah. And so if a mountain could have this impact, then the heart of a believer should be also in a mode of receptivity to hear the beautiful verses being recited, and to be moved, and to be moved to tears, and to be moved to want to be able to connect closer to Allah. And especially in this blessed month of Ramadan, where we are reciting the Qur'an on a daily basis, spending maybe a few hours a day, let us also maybe take an opportunity, if we have that time and we have people who need to learn the Qur'an, to spend a little while in this blessed month of Ramadan to teach others the book of Allah. And as the Prophet says, that this would make us one of the best of people, are those who learn and then go ahead to teach the Qur'an to others. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
oh.